Hey guys, how's it going? Okay, I'm doing this video for the second or third time. I had technical difficulties, so hopefully this works. Now, I wanted to look at the gold market, the oil market, and the French elections. The gold market, first of all, I did a video a few weeks ago where I stated that I felt that there would be a correction. Number one reason why volatility was overbought at that moment, and then two, you have to look at the Bollinger Bands for the Japanese yen. And long story short, it was at the lower band. I felt that the Japanese yen would sell off. And a few weeks later, we've exactly seen that. The Japanese yen has gone from what, 108 to 112-ish. And gold has fallen from 1298, I think from a Sunday futures night of trading, to all the way of 1228. And my thoughts on that right now are, assuming Macron wins tomorrow, gold will go down again. But then after that, we may see a shallow correction in the stock market, which would make gold go a little higher. But then what would be priced in is another rate hike. And you have to realize how the speculators price in a rate hike. They sell the euro, they sell the yen, they sell bonds, and they sell gold. We've seen that the last 3 times. And I don't see anything changing. But then after the fact, right, because of how this monetary system works, I've explained that gold would most likely go higher, the dollar would sell off, and we would see some of these commodities rip higher. And that's what I see happening. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if gold goes to 1150 and then has another run to the upside. I've been following a commitment of traders, and I've looked at the Japanese yen, which I've said is the important currency for gold. And what I've noticed is, even though the yen currency sold off this past week, you saw an increase in the net position of buying for the yen in the futures market by the commercial money. The speculators are on the opposite side of the trade. But the commercial money, they added 10,000 contracts net. So, that being said, you didn't see the commercials starting to sell the yen. Once you start to see the commercials starting to sell the yen, that may be the signal, you know what, gold may not be a good play. But that being said, I'm going to be looking at this for the next few weeks. I don't know if people follow this. In December of 2016, or late November 2016, you saw commercials starting to get rid of their short positions in the yen, and they started buying the yen. And it was at one point 100,000 contracts long yen. And you saw the move of gold, right? It went from 1115 all the way to 1300 within 4 months. And what we see right now is, if the commercials start to buy more yen in the futures market up until the rate hike, that would be bullish in my opinion for gold. Now, in terms of oil, oil had a nasty sell-off this week, and I don't know if I mentioned this in the past, but a good way to look at oil is look at the Canadian dollar. So gold has a currency of yen that you can measure, and some people say the New Zealand dollar. I haven't looked into that, but I will in future videos. But Canadian dollar and oil, they tend to have a relationship, and it doesn't happen all the time, but it has been a correlation over the years. Sometimes it breaks down. And what I've noticed the last 10 days before Friday, Canadian dollar sold off. What happened to oil during that time? It went down, right? So Canadian dollar went down up until yesterday, and then you saw a dollar move, not a dollar move, like an 80-cent move in crude oil up. You saw RBOB gasoline go up, and that's quite interesting. In particular for the Canadian dollar has a huge net short position by the speculators, which I call the dumb money. They tend to be wrong at price inflection points. And the commercial money is buying up the Canadian dollar. So they may be buying it up before the next rate hike, right? For all intents and purposes. They may be at a point of oversold before the Fed raises rates. Maybe after they raise rates, that's going to go up Canadian dollar, and then whoever's shorting oil is going to be squeezed big time. Yes, I do see the oil data. It's not looking too bright with the excessive inventories. You see lackluster demand in gasoline, but we're at a point where gasoline is $8-9 lower than where I was doing videos talking about this huge short position in oil by the commercial money. Not many people were picking this up. Shrewd investors were, but all of these guys were very bullish on oil. And now it just seems the sentiment has totally changed. And no one's looking at the Canadian dollar. And I feel that if the Canadian dollar continues to rally, right, maybe a relief rally for a few days, these guys who are short oil, they're going to be squeezed. And that's just something to look out for. But after the Fed raises rates in the next month or so, this should be very bullish for the Canadian dollar and also for oil. Now, last but least, let's look at the elections in France. I anticipated that Le Pen would come in stronger than where she is right now. Was wrong on that. And yeah, some of my positions have been affected because of that. I thought we'd see a more corrective mode in the stock market. We haven't seen that. We continue to see retailers buy the dips. And also the yen carry trade helps the market go higher. Now, assume that Macron wins tomorrow. I see the market spiking up a few hundred points, but then it's going to most likely reverse. Why do I say that? We have extension in the Japanese yen. We have readings in the stock markets way overbought. And the market breadth, I don't look at that too much, but the technical guys are saying that the market breadth isn't looking as strong as it should based on what we're seeing in the stock market. Putting all this together, see initial pop up in the market tomorrow night, assuming Macron wins, and then you see some choppiness a little bit here and there, but then up into the run up of the Fed rate hike, I see the market going higher. After that, we shall see. But after the Fed raises rates, I expect gold to rally hard. I expect the Canadian dollar to rally hard. I expect the euro to rally hard, even though there's still some political risk and uncertainty in it. And I see the same thing with the Japanese yen. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts, and I'll get back to you sometime soon.